Aging isn't about slowing down, it's about stepping into your power. Welcome to Don't Let the Old Lady In, the podcast where we challenge outdated beliefs about getting older and embrace wellness, self-love, and confidence. Your host is Lori Gardner, a registered nurse and nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, and she is your guide on this journey to vibrant, mindful living. Each episode will explore topics that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, and how to navigate health issues in the healthcare system as you age, so you can live with energy, purpose, and joy. Let's get started. Here's your host, Lori Gardner. Ladies, welcome back to Don't Let the Old Lady In podcast. I'm so glad you're joining me for this last in the series of Growth Equals Meaning. And this is the last episode. And I hope you've been enjoying it so far and you're excited and inspired to go out there and grow and learn new things and become a magnificent, amazing midlife or beyond woman. So what if the life you want requires you to become someone you've never been before? That's my big question for you today. Not because who you are isn't enough, oh no, but because there is more of you waiting to be expressed. There's more strength, more confidence, more truth, more freedom in all of you. And yet, for so many women after 40, 50, and 60, there's a quiet voice that says, is it too late? Can I really change now? What will people think? Today, we're talking about the courage it takes to become someone new and why this stage of life is not the end. It's the opening. Welcome back to Don't Let the Old Lady In. And in this episode called The Courage to Become Someone New After 40, 50, 60 plus years, it's not too late, ladies. It's the perfect time for you. Because you know what? Reinvention is basically what I'm talking about, and finding the courage and the confidence and the resilience to do it isn't about starting over. It's appreciating all that you've been up to this point. It's about stepping into who you were always meant to be. We're going to talk about why becoming someone new feels scary but necessary, why the hidden fears that keep women playing small, how to trust yourself through reinvention, and why midlife is your most powerful season, I should say, for transformation. So if you've been feeling the pull towards something more, this episode is going to give you the courage to do it, ladies. And I'm so excited for you. Let's be honest, becoming someone new is not just exciting, it's just plain uncomfortable. Because it asks you to step outside what's familiar, risk being seen differently, letting go of approval, and trusting yourself in new ways. And your brain? It loves the known. It wants to stay with it. It's convincing you to never do anything different, even though it's limiting. So a woman I worked with wanted to start a wellness business in her late 50s. She had the experience, she had the passion, she had the knowledge, but she kept saying, who am I to do this now? Gosh, not because she couldn't, but because it required her to see herself differently, to go from I'm someone who supports others quietly to I'm someone who leads. That shift, that's where courage lives. And I'm not saying it's easy, ladies, but if you have an instinct to do it, it's just what you're meant to do. I had to share with this coaching client that she spoke a very similar story to mine, where when I was 52, I had a massive surgery. Now, I had already stepped out of my comfort zone. How many years prior? Probably about 4 or 5 years prior, I jumped into a consulting job after being home with my kids for 15 years. Did I have previous careers? Yes. But did 15 years take me into a different space? Absolutely. And I walked into that consulting job sweating bullets. Like, I've been out of this business 15 years. Tech has all changed. I was sweating every day. Literally, I drove home every day for about a month looking up at God going, you better help me get through this. I'm not sure I can go back. It was hard, but I got through it. I just said, keep your nose down and do one thing at a time. Then fast forward, I have this major surgery. And as I was laying on my back, it was a hard surgery. It was a long recovery. I laid on my back and really struggled for a couple months. And in those couple months, I had a spiritual enlightenment. And for me, it was just so clear. A coach I'd been working with in my life coaching training was checking in on me, and she said, "Hey, I heard about this new profession called nurse advocacy, patient advocacy. It's where nurses help people navigate the healthcare system." I said, "They get paid for that?" She said, "Yes." And I said, "Wow, I've been doing that for a long time, pro bono, because that's what I do for my family." I knew at that moment, and I'm sure if anybody's listening that heard me talk the story, they've heard this expression, it was like I was shot out of a cannon. It clearly was something I had to do. Was it easy? Absolutely not. Did I struggle? Yes. Did I have to reinvent myself? Yes. Did I have to jump out of my comfort zone a gazillion times? Yes. But oh my gosh, it was so worth it. So that's what I'm here for you. And I had to share this with this client because she was going through the same thing. And if we're patient with ourselves and just stay focused and be mindful, it can work out really well. But one of the biggest fears in midlife growth is this. It's the fear of being seen. Seen trying, seen changing, seen failing, seen succeeding. Because visibility invites judgment, doesn't it? Or at least we think it does. Now, another client told me, "But you have changed. Growth will naturally make you different." She actually started out the session with saying, "I don't want people to think I've changed." Now, none of us really want anybody to think we're not the wonderful people they've always known us to be. What if we reframe that and know that that's part of us going forward? But if you do change, there is no problem. Growth is natural. Growth will naturally make you different. Don't we see that in our own kids? It's not a problem. But sometimes we just have to frame it differently, don't we? You know, when you make these changes, you're going to think differently. You might act differently. You might choose differently. And yes, some people may not understand. Maybe those are those judgmental people that maybe you don't need around. But this is the truth. You cannot live fully expressed and stay fully approved by everyone. And that's where courage comes in. Being someone new requires one essential thing: self-trust. Not perfection, not certainty, just self-trust. Trust that you can learn, you can adapt, you can handle discomfort, you can figure things out. So instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What if I grow?" Instead of saying, "What will people think?" ask, "What do I think about life? What do I think about the life I'm living?" And I'm just going to quote my mother, God rest her soul. She had the best expression in her later years. She said, "I don't give a rat's ass what anybody thinks. She's going to do what she's going to do." Not too bad, right? Then one woman started strength training at 62. She was amazing. She felt awkward at first, out of place, but she kept showing up. Months later, she said, "I feel stronger than I did at 40. That's reinvention. Not dramatic, but powerful. So here's what I want you to really hear. Midlife is not a limitation. It's an advantage. It's an opportunity. You have wisdom. You have life experience. You have resilience. You have perspective. You know what matters now, and you know what doesn't. And that's clarity, and that is power. So you got two paths, ladies. One path says, "This is who I am. It's too late to change." The other says, "This is who I've been, and I've been amazing, but I'm ready for more." Same life stage, completely different outcomes. So if you feel pulled towards something, again, that's not random. That's your next self calling you forward. And becoming someone new doesn't mean rejecting who you've been. It means just expanding beyond it. It means choosing growth, even when it's uncomfortable. It means having the courage to say, "There is more for me. I don't care how old I am, and I'm going to go after it." Because it's not too late. It's right on time. And around here, what do I say all the time, ladies? Let's all say it together. We don't let the old lady in. So I always say that, but I also like to preface it by saying, I don't care about the age. I just don't want to let the old mindset of decline. Like, we know aging is optional, or aging is inevitable, so embrace your age. But know that decline is optional and growth can be everything. So with that, ladies, please always share this with anybody you think could use a little inspirational, uplifting, and information on how to age well. And then until next time, ladies, don't let that old lady in. that's a wrap on today's episode of Don't Let the Old Lady In. Remember, age is just a number. Your mindset, energy, and passion are what truly define you. If this episode spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend. Subscribe and leave a review so we can continue this journey together. You are strong, vibrant, and unstoppable. Until next time, keep living boldly, loving yourself fully, and most importantly, don't let the old lady in.